what is up? Thank you so much for tuning in. I so appreciate your time and energy. Welcome to my channel, Purusha Intuitive. I am Deborah with Purusha Holistic Wellness. So welcome, welcome. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, cross watchers. Technically, I'm doing this reading end of December, but I do believe it's timeless. As long as the message, the energy fits your situation, then definitely it's meant for you. Otherwise, don't worry about it. There's tons of readers on YouTube, tons of opportunities, and just ask for spirit, or ask spirit for that message that you're really looking for with your situation. Everyone's situation is going to be different, right? But the energy will probably come out the same if this message resonates. All right, Libra, with that, let's get going. Happy holidays to everybody. I hope it's moving fluidly. Hopefully you're having a good time. It's not too chaotic. Ooh, all right. So you're dealing with something where, you know, it's a cycle, right? It's kind of this value of self-sabotage, or places that, you know, it's kind of the same cycle over and over and over again is what I'm hearing. And I feel like you kind of have to reflect on what this is, because you end up winding up in the same spot, right? That's part of learning, growth, and healing. If we're not reflecting on places where we could have maybe changed our actions, shown up a little bit differently, etc., we just kind of get into that repetitive cycle, you know? And I feel like you have to look at this aspect of yourself, because it is essentially keeping abundance away from you. Abundance meaning whatever your goals are, what you're trying to bring in. You know, I feel like you've been working really hard over this past year to change your tune, you know, but there is some kind of sabotaging energy, maybe places that you kind of end up hurting yourself. And I feel like this is coming through because you're not necessarily aware of, like, you might say, hey, I want certain things, I want to achieve this goal, etc. But I feel like it's maybe not thought out 100%. Like, you know, actually looking, okay, I want to achieve this goal, so what are the steps, right? It's kind of more of the nitty-gritty, the details that you have to get clear about in order to bring that in. And honestly, I feel like, you know, oftentimes when we're looking at that mirroring component, the people in our lives are mirroring back to us the energy that we're emanating, right? What's happening on the outside is also happening on the inside. And, you know, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, wah. It's a hard energy, right? It's hard to look at the places in ourselves where maybe we're not showing up in a way that's in alignment with what we truly want and what we're going after. You know, there definitely feels like, I think that kind of what I'm hearing is like to be patient with yourself, especially with that clock energy. You know, when we get in the grunt and grind, kind of the hamster wheel, you know, trying to push ahead, we can get really distracted from the things that, you know, from those details, right? The detail-oriented spaces that we need to be in, and how to go about it in the right way. Otherwise, we just end up putting energy towards the same thing, and then we find ourselves back in that same space, right? Where it's not intentional. It's not like you're trying to like ruin the work that you've done, right? It's just like you're being a little bit impatient, maybe a little arrogant. That fire energy talks about, you know, it's just kind of moving too quickly, right? The Knight of Wands is one of the fastest in the deck. And it's coming through off of this space that, you know, you've been here before, repeating same cycles. And, you know, Ten of Swords is a really painful energy. But what I love is that your intuition is really telling you what you need to do and how to switch it up. It does feel a little bit heavy. Let's look at that a little bit more. Yeah. Places that maybe you've taken opportunities for granted, not seeing. I love how this 4th cup over on this side has a rainbow pouring out of it, you know? You might have been working really hard and you've had a lot of different opportunities come your way, but it's like the one that you need to plug into, you're not even seeing, right? And that's kind of where that High Priestess energy is really going to work for you. So why aren't you seeing this? Ooh, okay. So sometimes we get too rigid, right? Sometimes we, you know, end up setting these rules and regulations and boundaries that end up sabotaging our own work, right? The Emperor is a very structured energy. It's, like I said, it's, you know, it's a lot about like schedule and timing and action and making things happen. But what I'm hearing, you know, when the Emperor is out of balance, then he can be a little bit too controlling or, you know, dictating how other people show up, right? And if it doesn't fit in that perfect little scenario, then, you know, he kind of will push them away and move forward, you know, to what he thinks is highest and best. But with that Emperor energy, I feel like you guys are getting a little bit too, you know, it's too rigid, right? There's not enough flexibility here. Sometimes there's this expectation of it being an equal give and take. And a lot of times, and then you don't end up seeing where you're missing those opportunities. If we get so sucked into this idea of people showing up exactly how we need them to show up, and then if they don't, they get penalized, etc., then that's obviously taking a situation for granted. It's not seeing the situation for what is being offered, essentially. And you know, a lot of times in life, there isn't specifically that equal give and take. But essentially what it's done is it's kind of thrown your manifestations off, like where you've been putting this time and energy. You're blocking, you're kind of blocking, right, that rainbow cup that I was talking about, right, that Ace of Cups. You don't see it, you don't block it, or you block it, and then it becomes like a self-sabotage. But what I love about this is basically this energy is showing that like you are cognizant of this on some level. You are aware. You have to show up a little bit differently, doing things, you know, again, it's moving away from the rigidity. It's moving away from the need for it to look like a certain thing, you know. Libras love the pretty little package, like keeping everything in its right space. But that's not true of life, you know. It's fluid, and not everything is equal balance 50-50, you know. This is going to help you get to where you need to go. I mean, to me, the 7 of Swords for you, Libra, is a lot about, yeah, I think you're seeing it. I think you're seeing it. That's what it's basically saying. You know, you are choosing to evolve past this, but I also feel like, let's clarify that, but that 7 of Swords energy, it's, you know, it speaks of when we're kind of like hiding or sneaking around, or we're not really divulging what's going on. But I feel like that's actually appropriate for you. I feel like you actually need to be, whatever this is, whatever you're working on, it is all about self-protecting that right now. You know that that this abundance is coming in for you 100%. It is just a matter of timing. But I think that you're also, like, part of that self-protective energy is making sure that you're happy. And it's kind of a conundrum because, I don't know, I mean, you know, this is a tough energy, right? You feel like you have to be sneaky because you want your abundance to come in. You want that happiness. You want that fulfillment, but then it's also kind of stressing you out at the same time. And I feel like this can come from past energies, you know, maybe past things that you felt like weren't really, like people who weren't having that equal give and take. There's a reason, right, why you had to set these boundaries. There's a reason why you're demanding this, you know, like I said, that 50-50. And it really talks about how, you know, that's not good, bad, right, or wrong. Everything's a learning lesson, and that's kind of where you're at right now. But you really have to make sure that you're not self-sabotaging again. And I do feel like you have opportunities in front of you, right? There are some things present that you can kind of tap into, but you have to be aware of them, right? Because, you know, this to me feels a little black and white, you know, when we forget that really life is like mostly gray. You know what I mean? Like there really aren't, yeah, so what do you need to know? Okay. I feel like you, again, it shows, it's continually confirming that what you're working on is coming through. You will have it. You might not have it right now, but I feel like the money is coming in, especially if this is career oriented, the abundance, if it's not specifically related to money, but it says that it's coming in. It says that you have it. It says that it's in your hand. And I think this is actually, again, it's coming from that place. This King of Swords energy is from that place of being a little bit more diplomatic, you know. This, you know, this guy, like I said, it's fiery, it's arrogant, it's quick pace. It's not thinking things through. It's just like, well, I know that this is what it is, so I'm going to make this decision and that's it, you know. But that's how it's kind of gotten you into this space of rigidity. And especially when you are manifesting, attracting, bringing something to you, going towards your goals, etc., you really need to you know, stay open and fluid. That is how life manifests, right? That's how we get what we want. But I think that, you know, at the same time, and I'm not trying to throw shade to you at all, Libra, because at the same time, I feel like what you have been working, there is a reason why you've kind of resorted to this type of behavior. You know, there is a reason people have been showing up, maybe not giving you the credit that's due. You're, you know, what you're creating, like, you're refined, you're on point, you're well suited for it, etc. You have all the skills, the talents, and the abilities. It's just funneling that energy into the right way, you know? Yeah. You're moving there. I mean, this is basically talking about you getting what you want. Your abundance is coming in. You just really have to let go of the past, the places that, you know, you kind of felt like you were unfairly treated, because this is actually holding you back, right? So we all go through situations where people do us wrong, they screw us over, etc. But you want to make sure that when you plug into new opportunities, you aren't taking that old energy in with you, unless you're dealing with the same person, right? If someone's showing you they're shady, you know? But if you're not seeing that firsthand, right? I think there's a little bit of paranoia with that shovel. Maybe you're not seeing things. What I'm kind of hearing is it's like, you gotta, this is a space of trust, you know? Sometimes we just need to take the opportunities because they're in front of us, and then more will unfold. You know, you can't completely block out the stuff that's not working in your favor. You got to kind of cherry pick, see what works, see what's actually going to further your agenda, what you're growing, what you're building. And then that's going to help get you to your point, right? It's not bad if we utilize what's being offered to us, even if it's not your end point, even if it's not your end game, you know, that's actually going to help you further. It's just also having the trust. If you're instinctually knowing this is not where I want to end up, this is not where I want to be, but there's value in some of these opportunities, then you take that step, because then the next one's going to open up. So I hope this helped for you, Libra. Hopefully, end of year energy will be really good for you as we move into the new year. It does look like you're able to kind of hammer some of these things out, no pun intended. I'm sending you lots of love and blessings. I hope that you have a fabulous holiday. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like the videos, you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, comment, especially about your situation. I would love to build and grow the community. All right, guys, much love and light. Thank you for your time.